And we're back. Alright, it's Bobo the Vulture. It's Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. Pit works in progress. That car just drove past. Well, I need to turn this down a little bit. Get ready, go! Car certainly feels a lot faster. We shall see whether that translates into significantly quicker lap times. Quicker enough that I want to change every 15 instead of every... Although from here I could go 50 and then 70 and then 90. I could go every 20 laps. Opening stint of 30 laps and then every other stint is 20. I could. I could not. That's another option. That lap was faster than some of the other ones I did, even including the pit stop in it. Hey, yeah, the car actually stops when you hit the brakes instead of just making noise and continuing to move forward. There are all kinds of exciting appeals to how this whole thing operates. Alright, this is smooth. This is smooth. Hey guys, that's smooth. That lap was a 13.3 compared to basically laps between 116 and 120. Not the smoothest way around. But the lap time's still not going to be terrible. Thanks to fresh tires. Thanks to radar. So I guess the question ends up being... which is better in terms of overall time? How long did it take me to go through the pits? And how long do I spend out on the track in terms of increased lap time? By not changing tires and getting onto a fresh set that will tear through everything ever. over under me, will ya? Lovely. Okay, so where were we? Several days ago when I was talking to you about things. I feel like I was saying something about how, I was saying something along the lines of, you know, if I had to have a Desert Island console, it would probably be this reverse-compatible PS3. Even though I tend to think, oh man, my favorite games, the best games, were all the old 8-bit, 16-bit games. There's certainly something to be said for them. I certainly do feel like, when the PlayStation era rolled around and all the games were CD-driven, there seemed to be this tendency that we gotta stretch these games out. We gotta make them as long as we can. Which, you know, I guess isn't something I should complain about, but at the same time, the more times you go to a town and there's a MacGuffin you've got to go get, and you have to go to the Cave of Haunted Monsters, as JG puts it, the less any of those individual things mean. Like, think about the original Final Fantasy. I can sort of piece together the reasons that you went to various places. Certainly, at least in the southern continent. Things get a little bit fuzzier when you start talking about the Kraken and Tiamat. Wasn't quite as much going on at the northern continent in the original Final Fantasy. But, like, you got the town where, you start, and Garland is there, and he's captured Princess. Then you gotta go find the witch and get the herb. Then as the town's been taken over by pirates, you take care of the pirates, you get a ship, you cruise around. And the next good port you can find is, town with the elves. And the elves, there's a magician that's messing up their shit. Astos, you gotta go take out Astos. But yeah, anyways, I don't know why I'm detailing the plot of Final Fantasy 1. Man, imagine if my tires were in bad shape for that part, folks. Yeah, I'm pretty tempted at this point to go ahead and say we're just gonna pit 20 laps. Just because this is great. This is far better. I think the tires will last until laps... Let's see. So that'll be until lap 50. Surely they'll last until lap 50. And once we have completed this task... Geez, I pray to God I get the right special car for this. Because there is a right and a wrong special car to win for this. And it's ironic because the right special car, or the wrong special car for this game, was one of the most right special cars of the original game. But, I guess between Gran Turismo 1 and Gran Turismo 2, they tried to add in an extra layer of extra fast cars. The fastest of the fast in the world of sports cars at the time, sports prototypes and such. Gran Turismo 3, though you weren't, you know, like it was a special car. I'm trying to remember how you even got it. Might have been winning one of the Enduros. But, you could win an F1 car. And racing an F1 car against cars that aren't F1 cars just isn't right. For a multitude of reasons. If you're talking about just like speed around a course and everything else like that, I mean, the F1 car is going to be faster in most cases, unless it's just a straight line, and acceleration or top speed are the only things that matter, in which case dedicated things like funny cars or land speed record jet cars, those will be faster, sure. But like, you know, going around this track, I'm not exactly sure what the lap record around Laguna Seca is, but I'm pretty sure it's held by Ricardo Zonta. Ricardo Zonta? Who's that, you say? Well, Ricardo Zonta was a, he was an F1 driver for a number of years. He sort of bubbled under the surface for a long time in the late 90s and early 2000s. And back when Toyota F1 was an existing entity, Toyota had an F1 team, Ricardo Zonta, for a while, was one of their test drivers. And for the Monterey Festival of Speed, which they have here at Laguna Seca, the Toyota F1 team brought a Toyota F1 car and had Ricardo Zonta go out and put in a few laps, like a few timed laps. They went ahead and, like, you know, they only had they didn't have a long time to sort of run and dial in the car, but they went ahead and gave it a shot, and I'm pretty sure he managed to get a lap record out of it. But I might not be correct, and interested parties, I'm sure, can leave comments with timestamps on them. Interested parties that leave comments that don't have timestamps on them, well, guys, you're not being helpful, you're just looking kind of weird. Well, that is the thing, actually, folks. Two people on the YouTube that want to leave comments. The fine art of commenting. From somebody who has looked at the phenomenon from both sides. Both as the person reading the comments on their video and the person leaving the comments on someone else's video. Timestamps, hugely helpful. Everyone likes them. It set the timestamp for before, just before, like, you know, a couple seconds or a second before whatever you just wanted to comment on was said, because if you leave the comment at that moment, when they click to it, they're only going to hear what got said after that. They're not going to hear what actually got said. So, you know, right before I start saying Ricardo Zonta has the lap record at Laguna Seca, before I say that, that's when you leave the timestamp for. And then whenever you leave that comment, you can click that piece of time code and people will automatically jump to what it is that I said. And then whatever comment you have behind that will have the context of whatever it is that you were thinking about when you said it. Otherwise, it's going to be a 45-minute video, an hour video, however long this video ends up being. And you're just going to say, no, man, the lap record is held by Derek Bell. He said in a Porsche 965 in 1989. I don't know, something like that. Or the lap record is held by Gilles Ferron. He said it in an Acura ARX-01. That'd be nice. There was a time in the late 2000s when it's kind of interesting in American sports car racing. Even though there was only one car competing in the overall top category, the rules for the category directly underneath that were set as such that unless it was a track where the only thing that mattered was brute force and power, the other cars had a shot. And there were a variety of those other cars. There were the Acuras, there were the Porsches, there were a bunch of other types of prototypes going on. Alright. So, yes. I get the feeling, or at least I have the vain hope, that once I accomplish this race, that everything else will be cake. It'll be totally fine. We'll be completely good. Ooh, nice slide. Not like cake, like it'll be super easy, but it won't be this kind of completely daunting task that this Enduro has been. I'm not looking forward to the 2 hours of Rome Enduro. I'm really not. But I'm hoping that whatever vehicle we win from this, if it's the right vehicle, will be a vehicle that we can use for that. And if it's not, I'm not going to take on this race a third time in order to try and get the other prize, because you have no guarantee as to what prize card you'll get. You could... The prize card could be another Escudo. I mean, it's not, but, like, the example I'm using here is... Like, imagine there was a race, and you could get one of two prize cards. One of them is the Suzuki Escudo, and the other one is a Suzuki Alto Works with 63 horsepower, tiny city car. You could win that race 10 times in a row and get the Alto Works 10 times. There's no, like, specific, if you win it this well, or you win it, you know, if you won the one type of car the last time, you'll get the other type of car this time. There's none of that. There is nothing along those lines. I wonder whether everybody else is going with 15-lap rotations. Either way, I think by cheating and using the Suzuki Escudo, I will hopefully not have too much to worry about. Alright. But yeah, I think in terms of consoles, the whole PlayStation era, PlayStation 1 is interesting because you could tell, like, people were just entranced by the amount that we would be able to get done. It's like, we could make everything in 3 dimensions? That's unbelievable. We could put in full motion video? That's great. We can split this up across multiple discs? That's one thing. I mean, RPGs in the 16-bit era and the 8-bit era were essentially limited by the fact that it all had to fit on one cart. I don't know that it had to fit on all one cart, or if there would have been a way if somebody had more than one cart to be like, alright, you've completed the first cartridge, now plug in the second cartridge. You'd have to be on an honor system, I guess. There'd be no way to transfer your save data from one to the other. I guess that's the key. Because, of course, you can save data on cartridges, but it is with a battery pack buried within the cartridge. It is not in a memory card. It is like a flash, like a solid-state flash memory that just sort of sits somewhere and it can be accessed by the console in an external format. Yeah, also, why we don't have memory cards anymore, you guys? I mean, if I wanted to play this game, and then I was going to go to my friend's for the weekend, and he had this game, or I was just going to bring over my disc with the game, I was going to have some time. Everybody's stopping for tires. There you go, just skate on over that. That'll be fine, that'll be fun, that'll be good. Fine, fun, and good, folks. That's what I'm all about. Getting a little bit tired playing this. I was up last night playing Jackbox with large cast of Let's Players out there, Grimmeth and Zerfall and J2 and Tailmange and Lethal Feline and Bean. I even hopped in for a couple rounds. That was nice. No, I'm going to be leaving somebody out now, and they're going to be the one person who's actually watching this video, and they are going to cry so much. I'm sorry. There's so many new people. And yes, you could, if you wanted to, say, hey, you're the new person, Bobo. Don't try and give me that. Woohoo! Slidey cars. Yeah, these are starting to get yellow. There we go, let's hop past that fella. Hey, fella! And I'll go ahead and pit in this time, because I have decided that yes, let's pit at 50 and then 70, because 30 laps in the last go was too many. Too many laps, too many laps, too many laps, too many laps. Oh, there's limited speed here, guys. Shh, be careful, it's limited speed. Oh no, I just got passed for first place. Not really, folks. Wouldn't that be a bad deal? is great. I'm gonna have good tires all the time now. So if I remember right, there's one more Enduro and then the Gran Turismo World Championship, and that's all we've got here. So it'll be an experience, guys. You won't want to miss it. I guess, probably. Yeah, no, I am very tired now. I am starting to feel it. Whew, feeling it. Yeah, up late-ish. And up early today. At least for a Saturday morning. When you should be sleeping in and not doing anything. Got up. And then went and had a bunch of crab. Crab's good and all, but actually breaking, you know, like when you go to a place where you get served all the crabs and then you gotta break them open with your mallet and knife and all that stuff. You expend calories trying to get at the actual crab meat. And the actual crab meat, there's not a lot of meat in a crab, as it turns out. It's good though. That's a fun experience. And I managed to not completely ruin my clothes, even though, you know, your hands end up completely encrusted in, like, Old Bay that's clumped together in between the, like, water and juices of the crab and, you know, butter or whatever. I'm sorry, I should have announced that this might be a trigger warning to people who either A, get really hungry when they think about crab, or B, get really grossed out when they think about breaking apart shellfish. And I could see either one, because crab's tasty, but also, when you are trying to break them open, you are reminded that it is a living creature. Well, I mean, it's not anymore, but that it was an animal, and you're breaking apart its little body pieces. We do run around in circles a lot when playing this game, especially in endurance races. But I've been told that people watch them, sometimes even watch them. A lot of times they'll listen to them. Just you find the sounds of engines in a video game environment soothing, then this is like ASMR or whatever that stuff is for you. Maybe I could try to do some ASMR stuff here. Or is it AMSR? I forget. I don't remember what ASMR or AMSR means. But I'm gonna talk in a whispery kind of voice. And maybe it'll make the hairs on your neck tingle a little bit. Tell me if it's working. I don't even know if my mic is gonna pick this up at all well. If it is, though, and it really does something for you, well, maybe I should get into this as a career. I could totally talk like this for a while. I'm not going to right now, though. So it's something I could do. And it's something people enjoy, I guess. Because they keep doing it. I don't force them to. I'm not forcing anybody to watch these videos. Not even friends and loved ones. Some friends and loved ones might watch some of my videos. I don't think any of my friends and loved ones well, some of my friends, in terms of colleagues and contemporaries in the Let's Play community, some of them might watch these videos. Because, hey, it's good fun. But, no, I don't think anybody I actually know outside of LPs would sit down and watch Gran Turismo specifically. Some people might watch some of the other ones. You know, me playing Super Mario World with Red. That's something that you could find entertainment value in. I didn't really mean to mess you up, but it's just sort of happened. Take it easy. Yeah, churning in great laps. Well, compared to what I was doing after the, you know, in laps 20 to 30. That felt good. I don't know if it actually ended up being a faster way up there. It felt like, haha, I managed to not slow down a lot while driving through this area. Of course, I took a long racing line because I went off the road in a lot of places, so maybe it wasn't the most efficient way to go. It's hard to know. It was pretty darn efficient, 111. It's in the 111 range. So yeah, I think I was starting to ask in the previous video. Maybe I did ask and I just hadn't gotten around to finishing my thought. Or I did finish my thought and I forgot because I'm a little tired. But if you guys feel as though me continuing to use the Escudo Pike Speed Car in future videos would be a cheat, well, that would be very unfortunate. I hope to be able to use other cars. It's sort of it all hinges on what I get as a prize car for this event. Because there's a good car for this, there's a good prize car for this event, and there's another prize car that, while it's also good, is good for something, good for competing against other cars that are a lot slower than this. Good for competing in the, like, you know, 400 horsepower range. Which I say as though I should be scoffing at that. If you combined the horsepower of the two different cars that I've owned over the years, it would not equal 400 horsepower. Neither of them was even halfway to 400. My Maxima had 190. It punched above its weight, though, in terms of driving pretty quick and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I say that as though 400 horsepower should be something to be sneezed at. Although nowadays, you can get, from Chrysler, you can get like a 600 plus horsepower, like, Charger. Or Challenger, possibly, I think. Yeah. You can get them. For, like, less than 100 grand. This isn't like, this is a crazy exotic that has a 1,000,000 liter V30 cylinder engine. No, I don't know that anybody's actually made a 30-cylinder engine. Somebody's going to be enterprising and check Wikipedia on it, attempting to prove me wrong. Or attempting to prove me right. I'll give you, you know, my eyeballs worth of attention for whatever comment you leave, telling me about engines with crazy numbers of cylinders. I know 18-cylinder engines were a thing at a point in our history, and particularly in racing applications, and possibly airplane ones, but I don't really know. Yeah, 16 and 18 I think is where they got up to, and that was about where people were like, alright, we're not really benefiting that much out of continuing to add cylinders to this car, or to this engine. We are not profiting from continuing to add cylinders to this minivan. There's cylinders filled with canned vegetables and soups, and we're putting these cylinders in the back. They're cylinders made of tin, by the way. How much tin is in tin cans anymore? I remember recently seeing somebody had thrown away a tin can for like soup or something like that in the aluminum recycling. Like the recycling for cans, but it was clearly like they meant like an aluminum cans or aluminum foil and stuff like that. And I remember for a minute being angry, like, hey, what are you doing? You're commingling things. They're gonna be upset. You're making work for the recycling people. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. Is, like, how much... What is the composition anymore? Do you recycle tin cans in the same place you recycle aluminum cans? I don't know. It depends from locality to locality. I know. Sweet America. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Fallout 3. I could go out and buy a console copy. Fallout 3 for the PlayStation 3 was reputedly pretty buggy on first release, and they made some patches in the meantime, but still. Of course, the problem there being, I've already played through a decent chunk of that game for the Let's Play channel. The actual main plot line of the game, if you were just dedicated to doing that, and you didn't lack any levels in order to do it, wouldn't take that long. You get through the main plot. Like, you could avoid doing all the things that I've already done in that LP up to this point. Stuff like, you know, that town with ants in it. You don't really have to go there. Any of the stuff involving Arafu. Yeah, you don't have to go to Arafu at all. You don't have to go to, you don't have to go to Tenpenny Tower. You don't have to go to, yeah, pretty much you don't have to do anything other than you go to Megaton, you talk, you wander around, you talk to some people. Technically, you don't have to go to Megaton either, but you probably ought to. And it's sort of, for purposes of the plot being explained out, the plot being explained out, it sort of helps to go to Megaton. And it is seriously right out of the vault. But yeah, like, you leave the vault, you go to Megaton, you talk to some people. You head into the Capital Wasteland, go find Three Dog. Three Dog will tell you a little bit about where your dad is. And you go to where you think your dad is. And they'll tell you that he ran off, and they will give you some information in terms of journal entries, or maybe you find it, I forget, but yeah. But there's a little bit of conversation. A little less conversation, a little more action. But there is a little conversating that goes on. And that's the point where we are. But beyond that, there's not that much more either. There's Maybe, I mean, that's maybe the halfway point of the plot. Really? I may be a little out of line, but, yeah. Nice, managed to keep that pointed mostly forward through the corkscrew. Keep it shiny side up. Woohoo! That's the thing that people say, keep it shiny side up or keep it rubber side down. When they are trying to, you know, I guess engender the idea that, you know, it's all real basic, just go out there and go nuts. Just don't apparently roll or flip the car, which can happen. So, if you're watching practices and qualifyings and, well, I guess there wasn't anything really bad happened to qualifying. Or was that when, no, I think that was a morning practice. Either way, he had a couple of instances where cars went airborne. Some of them landed on their wheels again, some of them did not. Some of them landed on their lack of roofs. Now, thankfully, of course, the cars are designed in such a way that if a car does land on its roof, the person's head is not the first, like, the tallest thing, so that it would be the thing that hits the ground. There was a time not so long ago when that was not true. Or when that was true, I should say, that the driver's head would have been the first, like, the tallest object in the car, so if the car went upside down, his head would hit first, and, yeah. That's not a good idea. He's gonna have a bad time when that happens. There we go, power out of that corner after slowing down. Perhaps too much. Guy's really good at righting himself after that sort of a situation. Yeah, that was going to be a slightly longer lap, thanks to that weirdness. Ah, boy. This is trying. Even though it's going significantly better than last time, and I'm less stressed out about it, I'm sleepier. It's just funny because I'm doing this one in the middle of the afternoon. But I'm all full of crap, and I did have a few beers at the event. Completely forgot about that. I'm driving drunk. I'm not drunk, folks. Hopefully, I am lucid enough that nobody was thinking that anyway. Although when I drink a lot, I tend to not get that. Like, I'll definitely eventually get sick, or pass out, or do any of the rest of that stuff, but, I tend to be pretty coherent. But it's never really my intention to LP in that state. There are people that do it, that's like, haha, drunk LP time. And I'm not frowning on those people or anything, it's just not anything that my channel has really done. I suppose I could experiment with that at some time in the future if I really thought I wanted to, but I don't know. I don't really get drunk anymore. This is the guy who was, well, like 2 weeks ago or a week ago for its giant booze festival. It wasn't that giant, actually. It was on like a city block. So what does everybody drive? Is this something that I can now have all of you leave a comment about if you're watching? I think I know what at least one or two of my listeners or viewers / people drive, fellow LPers. But you know, what do you drive? Is it nice? Do you enjoy it? Could it blow the doors off of my '06 Civic, non-SI? That car does okay. I mean, it gets out of its own way. It's not... It's very utilitarian. It's very good for its purpose. It's, 117. I do need to pull in soon. I need to pull in soon, and also I need to get some caffeine or something. I need to revitalize my brain and myself. Because of the amount of time that I've taken into this, again, because of course I already did the one failed run. The amount of time I've put into this again, I'm not going to lose that because I'm a little sleepy. I can't do it, folks. It's no good. I can't do it. Some of it, honestly, is like I have sat on doing this particular race again just because of the investment of time it takes. It takes 2 hours. There aren't that many times when I feel like I got 2 hours to just burn and I feel like playing Gran Turismo. I don't know, just whatever, especially on just one event that carries bad memories of failure. Oh, not bad lap there. I suppose this is actually the end of this particular set of tires as a run, huh? And this is lap 70, so per my strategy, it is time to come in and get a new set of tires. My revised strategy after the old tires just completely came to pot. So here we go. Lap 70. Let's come in. No. We're going to stop. And pit work is in progress now. And, whoo lordy. Oh. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. You got 2 pit stops in this video, so that must have been exciting for you all. Or if you're counting like the bookends of, yeah. You got a pit stop where I didn't pause and break the video, because I figured I'd give you 2 40-lap stints and then a final 20-lap stint, and in case we got the next car and I felt like toying around with it, I might not though. I might just make the last video a little bit short and toy around with it in a future episode. We'll find out though in that next video, which will be the exciting conclusion of endurance racing at Laguna Seca in Gran Turismo 2 forever. This is Bobo the Vulture. This has been Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.